Gun control. Gun control is a large problem in the United States. There's somewhere around 333 million Americans residing in the United States, and there's close to 400,000 weapons. And that's not counting the weapons that are, of course, owned by the United States militaries at all. That's just personal weapons that are floating around the United States. I was born in 1970, and when the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in the 1990s, under the leadership of Bill Clinton, signed the assault weapon ban, gun deaths went down by 40%. And it was allowed to expire under George Bush, and since that time, gun deaths have increased by over 240%. I hated math. I did. I hated math with a passion. But that's very simple math for me. There is a preponderance of firearms. If every firearm shop goes down today, it would not be a problem for Americans for firearms. Just wouldn't. So the firearms are there. And if you read the Second Amendment and you read the entire Constitution, there's an aspect about the well regulated militia. And it was anticipated that the government would issue the weapons and you would not maintain them yourself. The biggest issue where I see the problems with the preponderance of firearms is in the annual death toll it takes on our children. Between the year 1998 and 2020, I did more than 40 active shooter drills with children as young as 5th grade and as old as 12th grade. And it's a reality that we live with and we train for. Virginia had the audacity to say that a teacher should expect to be shot. It's a normal occurrence and they shouldn't be able to sue. Fortunately, that was overturned by an appellate court, and they're paying the teacher that was shot. Fortunately. This is not something that's okay. It's not okay that men and women that are in classrooms are dying along with children. That's not what they signed up for. They signed up to educate children, not to be used as target practice for some child who is, more often than not, white, male, and radical. And in my state, all you have to be is 18. There's no background check. You can pick up a weapon. We saw the effects of that in Jacksonville earlier last year when the racist, bigoted man went and picked up firearms and then went and killed people in the Dollar General because the guns are available. And this is the same state that is saying that African Americans benefited from slavery. And you're giving the people who are saying that additional firearms. It's like lighting a match. It's not good. And you have these people who are walking around with guns in my state all the time. I don't know who has a weapon and who doesn't. It's absolutely frightening. And if you're in the state and you're dropping children off in a bus loop or a car drop off, you have to worry about other adults there too having firearms. And how many of those people who own guns, how many people do you know that shouldn't really own weapons? And they have them. And they're dropping off Johnny or Susie or whatever the hell the name of the child is. And then all of a sudden, they're yet another statistic where it's a child survives, but the parents are dead over, a fender bender in the pickup. Because I've seen fights dropping off children in middle school between parents over a fender bender. We called the cops. And the biggest issue is, what are you going to do inside? Teachers don't want firearms because we're educated enough to know what the law of probability is. I've never been shot at. I'm very happy to say that. So you want to hand me a weapon, and the one time that someone's shooting at me, it's a target-rich environment for stray cells because it's children. And in between my classroom and the classroom adjacent is particle board, and in Florida, one every 8 to 16 inches of a steel beam if it's after 1998. So before that, it's just particle board and wood. So the odds of you being 100% accurate is astronomical. So children will die. Please tell me how the Second Amendment, when the authors wrote the Bill of Rights, could have ever anticipated a Gatling gun, let alone a 60 caliber machine gun or a 50 caliber machine gun or a Barrett, like the weapons that we have today. Simply put, gun legislation affects children's lives. I don't care. I enjoy shooting, but I like children being alive and able to reach retirement much more than having a high capacity weapon. Vote true and vote blue.